Hey, welcome back to the channel, and this is my review of South Africa versus Romania. So there's a general sense before the match that South Africa have got to beat the scoreline that the island put on Romania, which I think is a little bit unfair. But as the title of my video, which is the Ajax System, suggests, I think the South African coaches have other ideas. They're going to use this match to test out different combinations and players playing in different positions. So it's going to be an interesting game regardless. So right from the start, of the 4 nines that were in the squad for this match, my personal favourite, Reinhardt, gets over for a try early on. And it's a couple of minutes in, so that kind of sets the stall out, I think, for South Africa and what they're going to do in this game. Willemse is on kicking duties, and it doesn't go well from the start, so it remains a nagging question for the South African team, is who's going to take the kicks. Faf does pretty well later on, and but the ominous presence of Pollard is kind of casting a shadow over this squad in terms of kicking duties. So let's see how it goes. So Mpimpi gets over for another try early on, and on a nice switch actually, and Mpimpi is looking very sharp throughout the match and actually gets man of the match. But you're thinking, what kind of benefit can South Africa really gain from this match? They're obviously outmatching the Romanians. Romanians put up a good fight, but I think, again, referring back to the title, the South African coaching team really used this game to test out a few things. So they made the most of it, which I think is very smart on their part. So South Africa get a few more tries. I'm not going to go into detail about every single try. You can check the score for yourself, but I will say that from the Romanian perspective, it stands in good stead as a reminder for other teams. Doing the simple things correctly can get you so far in rugby and in life, I think. And Romania compounded their woes by not doing simple things like they missed touch of a penalty, line-out and scrum weren't great at times. And I think all of those things just adds pressure to the situation and doesn't help them at all. So that's a good lesson to learn, I think, for all teams involved in this World Cup. Fair play to the Romanians. They show plenty of guts throughout the match, and I can tell you personally, after being on the receiving end of a good few hidings, it takes a lot of fortitude to actually pick yourself up and keep on playing, and they do. And credit to them. There's one incident where one of the Romanian forwards gets used as a carpet from the South Africans counter-rucking, and he picks himself off, dusts himself down, and gets back into the game. And this is the beauty of rugby. So I full credit to the Romanians. There's a point in the match where play dies down a little bit, and the commentators, as they want to do, start to talk about Rassie, and he's such a larger-than-life character, and plenty of material there, but I don't know if they really appreciate kind of the impact that he's had on South African rugby and world rugby in general. Such a maverick. They call old Finn Russell there in Scotland the maverick, but I think Rassie is like on his own level in terms of coaching, and there's some good characters there. And when he's gone, I tell you what, they're going to miss that guy. But they take their usual digs, and we get on with the game. So just before the halftime whistle, the skies open, and the rain is coming pretty thick and fast, and it's going to be a pretty scrappy second half, you think, because of the conditions. And South Africa well and truly in the lead, leading into halftime. So right from the halftime whistle, the experiment has well and truly begun. Fourie is in at hooker, the old warhorse is in there, and he does a great job, and he looks really pleased to be back in the front row, which and is anathema, I think, for most players, but he seems to revel in it, and he does a great job. One thing the commentators did mention during the game, which I found very interesting, and I didn't know actually, is Jacques is the South African coach. He's actually leaving after this World Cup, and I had no idea. Apparently he's going to Leinster to take over, so like this is the kind of farewell, the farewell song for Jacques Ninaba, and I was quite surprised to learn that. I hadn't heard anything about it. Maybe I'm not in the loop or whatever, but so that adds a little bit of extra spice to South Africa's World Cup campaign this year. Eventually, South Africa hit the 50-point mark, and it's just kind of a formality at this point, obviously. Faf comes on at 10, and this Ajax thing where you've got players playing out of position all over the field. Grant Williams, you got Faf, you got the hookers, and it's just pretty crazy. I mean, the idea of total football from the Ajax days in the 60s and 70s was that you develop players to such an excellent level of skill and fitness, is that they can play in actually any position. They can cover each other regardless of where they usually play on the pitch. And I just wonder if Rassie is gonna go for this in a rugby context. It wouldn't surprise me. The guy is a visionary, so it just seems like he's going for the bigger picture. Will it pay off though? That's the thing. If it doesn't, then nobody will pursue it in the future. But I tell you what, it's a hell of an interesting watch in the meantime. And just to compound that point, Van Staden then, who's a back row player, goes into the hooker position. He hasn't played there since high school, and he does well. He doesn't seem to miss a beat, and it's one of these things. Is playing your players in an out-and-out position, letting them develop a speciality, going to benefit you, or is letting a player have experience and being able to cover multiple positions going to benefit you more in terms of squad play? It's a fine balance, and I hope South Africa can find it. At the moment it looks like they are, but obviously Romania are not the best test to see if that system is going to work. But we're going to find out very soon. South Africa have Ireland next week, and I tell you what, that is going to be such a brilliant match, I feel. It's kind of two opposing ideologies, I think, in a sense, but I cannot wait for it. Romania keep scrambling. They show some great scramble defense, and you're just wondering, they have a big heart, because they keep working. They keep working all through the game, and credit to them. LaRue gets over, and the reason I mention it is last week Scotland had a great chance, and the guy tucked the ball under his hand, the winger, and it was a bad skills. And this week, LaRue, when he goes through for his try near the end, where he nearly pops his hamstring, I think, he holds the ball in two hands so beautifully and just holds up the defence. And in the end, they caught indecisive, and he just goes through, shows his pace still at his age. And just as textbook, any young player should watch how he manipulates the defence just by the way he holds the ball. And just great little insight into how to play the game from the legend of Billy. So in summary, obviously it was a bit of a cricket score. I'm not sure if they outdid Ireland. I don't think Romania got a point, so that wasn't the point of the match, I think, for South Africa. They got to test out all of their new combinations and players covering different positions, which was great for them. Romania put up enough of a stiff fight, I think, to actually make it a little bit more engaging than a training session. And yeah, they're a man down now with, unfortunately, Marks being out, and you just see Pollard flying in to pick up the pieces of the kicking game off the tee anyway. Will Libok maintain his position? I do not know. They'll probably ease Pollard in gently, I think, in the next couple of matches, but yeah, it's really interesting. I cannot wait. As I mentioned earlier, I really cannot wait to see Ireland versus South Africa. That's going to be hell for leather, as we say, and yeah, it's very exciting times. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed my review. Like, subscribe, etc., and I will see you for the next one. Bye bye.